2024 was the year I found my way back to reading after being in a slump for 4 years. I have read 42 books last year, and while I did enjoy most of them, there were some books that just became my favorites. I chose 10 books to show you guys and share my thoughts on them, and just a friendly reminder that we have different opinions on everything, and my thoughts may not be aligned with yours, and that's totally fine. There is no right or wrong when it comes to opinions on books, because it's all subjective. This is in no particular order, so let's start off with Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. This is actually one of the first books I've read last year, and this is also the first book of his that I read. I actually discovered this on TikTok since I had no idea what to read first, and I was still exploring through different genres. And when I tell you guys, I'm glad I have stumbled upon that one TikTok recommendation. I am. This book has such an impact for me. This book is about a boy named Amir who grows up in Afghanistan and has a close friend named Hassan. They go through a lot together, but Amir makes a choice that hurts Hassan, and it follows his journey through redemption and guilt. This book really makes you think about the people you care about and the things you regret. At the beginning of the story, I can say that Amir is insecure and is constantly seeking approval from his father. And this desire for validation often shapes his actions, especially with his relationship with Hassan. Hassan is their servant's son, so basically Hassan is their servant as well. So during their youth, Hassan is a deeply loyal and selfless person. I love him because he's always there to support Amir. He's so devoted in helping him in any way he can despite of their social status. And he's also innocent and naive. He doesn't fully understand the cruelty of the world around him. He's also often discriminated for being a Hazara and often treated as inferior. Hazara is an ethnic group native to Afghanistan where they are known for their distinct physical features. He's also innocent and pure, like the world doesn't deserve him. I particularly liked one scene wherein Amir was reading Hassan's stories and he said that his favorite part was when they come across a big word that Hassan did not know and he would tease him. Hassan loves to be read to, and you can really see his eagerness to learn new words. He wasn't given the access to education as other people because of being a part of a marginalized group. I felt for him all throughout the book that I just wanna hug him because he's just a baby and why are you all being like that? One thing that I love about Khaled is his writing style. It's so emotional and vivid. It's like painting pictures with words. He often describes places and people in such detail that you often feel like you're right there with the characters. He writes them with real struggles and how the past shapes who we become. The story started in the pre-Soviet invasion where the country had monarchy and there were some political instability. And the events changed during the Soviet invasion in 1979. This invasion led to a brutal war with many people fleeing the country. The impact of this war was profound for the characters involved as it highlights the significant changes and trauma they experienced. I highly recommend The Kite Runner because this explores personal growth and moral dilemmas. So if you're into those, this is a must read. The next one is another work of Khaled, and among the three of his works that I have read, this is my most favorite one. It's called 8,000 Splendid Suns, and this book has the most gut-wrenching story for me. I actually contemplated for a long time on whether to read this book or not. Not because I think it's gonna be bad, but because I wasn't sure if I can handle it. And since I'm already familiar with Khaled's writing, I knew that this is gonna be heartbreaking as well. And I wasn't ready for the tears during this time, honestly. But I did not want to miss out, so I read it. And lo behold, I shed tears. The story starts with a girl named Mariam, and she's a child who grows up feeling like she doesn't belong. She lives in a small hut with her mother, and the only time she feels happy is whenever his father comes to visit. Then, because of some circumstances, Mariam is forced to live a life she never wanted. And at the same time, there was another girl in another part of the city named Laila. She grew up in a loving home, but the war changes everything. Their lives took a turn that brings the both of them together in a way that neither of them could have imagined. Mariam's story was so sad because she just wanted to be loved, but life kept being unfair to her. Every time I thought things might get better for her, they only got worse. It's really heartbreaking and frustrating, and honestly, it made me angry at how cruel people could be. But despite all of that, I admire her strength because she just kept going. This story was set in Afghanistan as well back in 1960 and continues through Layla's story in 1990s during the Soviet occupation and the rise of the Taliban. This is my most favorite one of Khaled's works because I felt so many emotions while reading this. Sadness, anger, hope, all at the same damn time. The writing is also so powerful, and the way it shows the struggles of women in Afghanistan made me see things differently. It is heartbreaking, but it is also a story of love and sacrifice. So, would I recommend it? Absolutely. This is a sad ass book. It's called A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. This is actually one of the first books I've read when I just came back from my reading slump. And mind you guys, if you just came back from a reading slump, do not read this one because trust me, you will just spiral back. A friend actually recommended it to me, and after reading it, I wasn't sure if she hates me or not because why would she recommend this? This is so fucking devastating. And this was more than I could take that time. This novel is brutal. This is about a it's about four friends in New York named Jude, Malcolm, JB, and Willem. They moved to New York to figure out their lives, and at first it would seem like a story of friendships and careers, but as the story goes on, it slowly shifts to Jude, and this is where things gets heavy. Jude has a past that he never talks about, and you will just understand why as the story goes on. He has been through so much trauma that it's honestly painful to read. His life is just one tragedy after another, and every time I thought, okay, this is rock bottom, the book will say, no, let's go deeper. Like, no one has ever prepared me for this human suffering. Every page was so devastating that I had to take long breaks before picking up the book again. And I don't even know how I managed to finish this. The book was a huge chunk of paragraphs that most people won't even bother to read, but I'm glad I did. Because the book is so detailed that you will realize that why did they put this? It's like unnecessary. But as the story goes on, you will realize that it is it is necessary. Jude struggles with physical pain, self-hatred, and the belief that he doesn't deserve happiness, no matter how much his friends loves him. I don't know what else to say because I might spoil it, but it is definitely not a light read. Hanya lets you get attached to these characters that you feel like they're your family too. I have read from reviews that they still think about Jude from time to time, and at first I did not believe it, but after reading this, I realized it's true because I do think about Jude from time to time. Even though I read it last June, last year, I still think about him. I actually cried at the last pages of the book because it was so awful that I couldn't keep it in. I did not forget those last pages because it still spirals in my mind. If you guys are planning to read this one, I suggest you get a piece of pen and paper and start writing their names and details because on the first 50 pages of the book, it would be confusing. So I think by this way, it will be easier for you to grasp the characters quickly. Would I recommend it? Maybe. But if you think you're in the right headspace and think you can handle the unimaginable trauma that has been, then go ahead. The next one is White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. It is a short and emotional story about loneliness and love. The story is about a young man who walks alone in nights in St. Petersburg. Then one night he meets a girl named Nastenka. They started talking, shared their feelings, and at some point it felt like things are gonna get better, like they're gonna change each other's lives. The protagonist is a dreamer. He lives in his own world, imagining a life full of love and happiness, but he doesn't know how to reach it. So meeting this girl, Nastenka, gives him hope, but at the same time it makes him realize how lonely he truly is. This book is short, but I guarantee that it will leave a deep impression on you. Most of you might know Dostoevsky already because he is one of the classic authors that's been booming in media. He writes like someone who stared at the ceiling at 3 a.m. too many times. Even though this was one of his earlier works, you will feel the emotional depth he is known for. He would make you feel things you didn't even know how to name. Next one is The Stranger by Albert Camus. I know you guys have heard of him already. This book is weird, but in a good way. It's about a guy who doesn't react the way people expect him to. I can't go on the details because I might spoil it, but all I can say is he is a weird and strange character. He is not emotional and he doesn't pretend to care about the things he doesn't really care about. To him, life is just random, like nothing really matters, so why fake yourself through it? And honestly, that's what makes him interesting. It will make you question if he is heartless or is he just being real in a way that people are not. This book is short, but it would really get in your head. It's not sad in a way that it would make you cry. It's more like a book that will make you sit and stare, thinking about life and how weird it all is. This book is what I'm most excited to talk about. The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera is so underrated, and I'm really glad that I have read it. I bought it last year at the Manila International Book Fair, and I almost didn't bought it because I was eyeing for another book, and I was on a budget that time. Upon reading the first 30 pages of this book, I knew it was gonna be a 5 star already. It is that good. This book is deep. It's about love, choices, and that weird feeling of wondering if life really matters. This is not just philosophy though. It also has drama, friendships, and characters who make some questionable life decisions. The story started with Thomas. He's a surgeon who doesn't believe in commitments. And there's also Teresa, who loves Thomas deeply but she struggles with his endless affairs. Then there's also Sabina. She is an artist who refuses to be tied down. And there's also Franz, who gets caught up in his own ideals. Thomas is an interesting character because he treats life as it is light, like it has no weight. So why take it seriously? But Teresa is the opposite. She feels everything so deeply, like every moment carries some meaning. So their relationship is basically a battle of those two ways of living. And there's Sabina too. who for me is like Thomas because Sabina interprets words differently than Franz. Sabina believes in freedom, like breaking away from expectations. She believes that escaping expectations is a strength, whereas Franz is the opposite. He is all about meaning, so she sees Franz as weak because he follows his ideals, that it ties him down. There was actually one thing that Thomas said on the first pages of the book. He said that not knowing what he wanted was actually quite natural. And with the following phrase, we can never know what to want because living only one life, we can neither compare it with our previous lives nor perfect it in our lives to come. And that speaks so much volume. Kundera's writing style is just different. It's unique. It is not the usual storytelling. He goes off topic and he breaks the fourth wall and he talks about philosophy in the middle of a love story. But it's not on the way that it will pull you out of the momentum. It just draws you in even more. He has this incredible way of intellectualizing things without making them feel distant or such. Kundera digs into the life's biggest questions and statements, like does life have a meaning or do we just give meaning to it? It's actually based on the emotions of people. I know it sounds abstract, but he somehow manages to make it personal. He has this way of triggering the depths of your soul that you didn't think will be touched, but now you will feel these different kinds of emotions, and you don't know what to do with them, but scream on a pillow. I'd be genuinely happy if more people would read this masterpiece. It is definitely a must read, especially for taught daughters, because this book doesn't just hand you easy answers. This one is what you are looking for is in the library by Michiko Aoyama. Honestly, I just picked this randomly and thought, ooh, let's give this one a try, without knowing that it is exactly what I needed during that time. The timing was just both shocking and amusing because I didn't know I needed that book. And I finished this in one sitting and I loved it so much. There are different people with different stories, but their only similarity is that they are kinda stuck in life, like they feel unsure and lost in their lives, and they all end up meeting this librarian who gives them book recommendations. At first, the book won't make sense to them, but later on, they will realize that it will be exactly what they need. And it's just amazing because this book was exactly what I needed too. This book is not too short nor too long, and it is not fast paced either. It's more like small moments of kindness and growth. I think this one will fit best with those who are currently in a reading slump and those people who want something light but meaningful to read. This one is called Chess Story by Stefan Zweig. It's another short book, but it will definitely stay in your mind. This book isn't just about chess, it is about obsession, isolation, and the human mind as well. And I just want to share you guys that I only opened this book just to see and read the first sentence so I can get a gist of what to expect, but I ended up finishing it in one sitting. It is that good that I devoured it and I have found my new favorite author. The story takes place on a ship where this world chess champion is playing games with random passengers. Then this mysterious guy shows up and he hasn't played chess for a long time, but he's really good at it. And as it turns out, he learned to play chess in total isolation during the World War II using just a book of chess moves. So he basically played against himself in his head. to stay seen. And the main character isn't even the chess master. It is a bit haunting and claustrophobic, but it's also brilliant. It's one of those books that makes you feel like you're holding your breath for a long time. It is super short, yet super sharp. If you like psychological stories or anything that explores the depths of the human mind, this one is for you. The next one is Panenka by Ronan Hession. This book is soft, sad, and beautiful in a quiet way. It is about a man nicknamed Panenka. He used to be a football star, but now he's older, living in a quiet life and carrying regrets from his past. So the nickname Panenka actually comes from the one penalty kick that he once missed, and that moment basically defined his whole life. It's just like one mistake, but everything spiraled. Now he's just trying to live out his days in peace, even though he is haunted by regrets. But it's all not sad though. He is surrounded by people who cares for him in their little everyday ways. I like this one cause it's just quiet. Like nothing crazy happened in the book, but it still ached you in some way. And Panenka is just tired. And there's just something so real about a character that isn't trying to fix everything. He is just trying to be. And Ronan have written it so gently. It actually feels like he's just sitting next to you and he is telling the story slowly. This one is not a flashy book, but it is definitely a gem. So this last book is weird, but in the best way. It is called Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. The main character is Janina, who lives in a small remote Polish village. She is into astrology, she loves animals, and she has this strong opinions on life and society. She is a middle-aged woman who is often ignored by those around her, seeing her nothing more than a crazy old crone. I kinda hated her at some parts cause she is way too eccentric and she loves to go off on tangents. But I couldn't help but respect her love for animals, and her views are unapologetic. She sees animals as just as deserving of respect as humans. And then people started dying one by one in mysterious ways, and she is convinced that the animals are taking their revenge. So Janina goes around asking people their birthdays, not to be nosy, but so she can read their astrological chart. Like she fully believed that the stars can explain everything and even the murders happening around her because she also sees their date of deaths as well. Personally, I don't believe in astrology. I mean, I've tried, but it's just not for me. So that part didn't do much. But Olga tackles some interesting questions to ponder in life, like the question who has the right to live and who has the right to kill. Janina also argues that the usefulness of the people is a concept made by the society and it is used to justify why others' lives are more valued than others. She said, but why should we have to be useful? And for what reason? Who divided the world into useless and useful? And by what right? OMG, right? Anyway, Olga actually won the Nobel Prize in Literature back in 2018, I guess. And the morbid title actually came from William Blake's poem. I like this book because it made me feel a little unhinged, but also understood. It is definitely not for everyone, but if you like main characters who are eccentric and has a slow burning rage, then read this. So those are the 10 books that I have loved last year.